we are talking about Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville is expected to return to action in-ring against Naomi. Sonya Deville has been preparing for an in-ring return, with the WWE basically just not getting around to the story just yet. Now, there's been a lot of different things pitched for Sonya Deville, and she hasn't actually been in in-ring action since last year's SummerSlam. Now, last year's SummerSlam had a lot going on for it. It was a loser leaves town match, and Deville did essentially say, I'm not an active competitor anymore. There was a reason for that. It was supposed to be hair versus hair. Sonya Deville was going to be shaving her head. But instead, what actually happened was that she was forced to leave because there was a lot going on. I'm not going to go into particular detail other than to say people can be absolute monsters. And Sonya Deville did not deserve what was happening to her. Now, she's been training for an in-ring return for a little while, as I reported exclusively back in June, and which was picked up about a month later on other websites, but without any credit for myself. Liv Morgan was pitched as someone who could bring Deville back as far back as in the build-up to Money in the Bank, but a lot changed around Money in the Bank time, and I was able to report just before Money in the Bank that neither she nor Becky Lynch were going to be involved in proceedings at all. Deville was considered to be a part of the Money in the Bank ladder match, and this was part of what was going on with that Liv Morgan storyline, and it's also why it was essentially abandoned immediately afterwards. Now we have a story going on between Naomi and Sonya Deville, and honestly I think that's a much better story than what we had with Liv Morgan, even though the story is extremely similar. Deville held Morgan back when it came to Money in the Bank, and now Deville is holding Naomi back just for the hell of it. Sonya Deville, whether she goes to Raw, whether she stays on SmackDown, whether she's drafted at all because technically she's not an in-ring competitor, will be returning to the ring. I'm not going to sit here and pressure. As soon as she's ready and the storyline is right, she will be returning. But what I can say is that any future push for Naomi goes through Sonya Deville, which means it's certainly possible that a face at the top of the brand, let's say a Shayna Baszler, for example, who just becomes a monster and doesn't really go face or heel, could be lining up against a Sonya Deville very, very soon. That's very exciting for me. Now, the WWE have sat on this one for a very long time, essentially preventing Sonya Deville from getting in-ring again, although we don't know if maybe she wasn't ready for a multitude of possible reasons. As I say, this isn't something I want to push. I'm a huge fan of Sonya Deville. She did not deserve what happened to her, and I really do hope she is feeling better, she is feeling more confident, and she's ready to come back to action. Someone with Sonya Deville's talent should not go ignored. And at this point, it is more than time.